everyone. I'm Leslie Cornwell with Empowering Midwifery Education. This section has to do with creating your mastermind team. A legal disclaimer we put at the beginning of all of our presentations. This information is for general and educational use only. We try to keep our information as accurate and timely as possible, but make no promises and guarantees it works for your unique situation. So the course objectives, the students will be able to verbalize exactly what is a mastermind team, the common types of mastermind teams you can create, the core principles involved in a mastermind team, very 5 essential rules with creating your mastermind group, characteristics each member you have to consider, and then the 9 tips that make a mastermind group successful. So why is this topic important? It's really a powerful tool to have mastermind groups in your life. With my consulting business, we really talk about creating mastermind groups for your business success, surrounding yourself by the experts you strategically have chosen, that accountant, that lawyer, that financial planner, that marketer, that business consultant, that mentor, the list goes on and on and on. But we talk strategically about the power of mastermind groups because they allow you to collaborate on projects, they allow you to take things to the next level, they allow people to share their struggles and successes in a safe, non-competitive environment. You can have a mastermind group of like-minded colleagues that are all building great midwife practices. You can have a mastermind group in practically anything. It gives you a sense of community with like-minded individuals with a core support goal in mind. You bounce ideas off each other, you have a different perspective, you solve a problem, you face challenges and support each other through the ups and downs of your goals, your visions, and where you want to go. So let's go to the basics. What is a mastermind team? It's a collection of people who meet regularly to share their ideas, work on projects, strategize how to grow personally and professionally on a core theme. So you can have many different mastermind groups. You can have ones with a bunch of midwives getting together. We meet once a month. We want to be able to have a safe environment for peer review, to train, to grow with each other, to talk about our struggles and our strengths and where we want to go in a very collegial professional relationship. You can have mastermind groups for your student and your training and study groups, and you're trying to do a coalition of changing the community and birth advocacy and healthcare system. And there's just so many ways to pull together these amazing people to make great things happen. You can meet together weekly, you can meet together monthly, you have accountability to each other of what's going to get created. You just are making great progress, and don't get overwhelmed in the day-to-day decisions and the task involved. You break it up over time and you make an end goal of whatever is the purpose of that mastermind group. I'm on a couple mastermind groups where there's 4 people we strategically picked, and we all are women with similar age kids. We're in that 30s, and we just started our businesses the last 2 to 3 years. We're all birth advocates in different capacities of the industry, and we really challenge each other. We give different angles, we give different perspectives based on one's a midwife, one's a doula, one's a childbirth educator, another one is a consultant. And it's really amazing to have these ladies that can relate to being a mom, being a business owner. The industries, we're very passionate about supporting women, but we all have different expertise and backgrounds to do it. So you want to find people that are goal-oriented, success-driven. They want to help out the cause, whatever shape and form it is. You can have advisory boards for your practice. You can have, for nonprofits, you want to get in the community going. You can get a board of directors. You can have your own personal board of directors. Like for your personal life and your business, like it's whatever you want to do. The sky is the limit. I joke, like we have a family mastermind team. Like my kids and my husband, we meet together. We act like our family as a mini business, and we make challenges for each other, and we set goals, and we talk about vacations together and how we're going to get there and what we have to do to make that happen. And is it financially barriers, or is our kids have to accomplish certain things? Whatever it looks like, it's really fun to have a mastermind team in whatever level of your life you want. So there's different kinds of mastermind groups. Typically they have 4 to 8 people, as small as 3 and as large as 100. It just depends on the purpose and how big of a project it is. I find that having 3 to 5 is that nice area for most midwives and most of the birth advocacy projects that I'm involved in and typically consult about. You need to have clear expectations of why everybody's there, what is the end goal, what's the mission, what's the vision, what are we going to accomplish, and how are we going to support each other. So everybody has clear expectations of when we're going to meet, what the professionalism is going to look like, and that candor among each other so that we can all have a good working relationship. So here's some of the more common types of mastermind groups. You can have business mastermind groups. You can have it where you have like-minded business owners that want to take their business to the next level, which was the example I gave you with the doula, the midwife, the consultant, the childbirth educator. We all had similar goals. We were newer businesses. We wanted to learn from each other. We wanted to pull from each other's markets and just really relate to being new practices in the birth world and being moms with young kids. What is the intention of it? Is it to vent with each other? Is it to throw ideas, to help us through our challenges, to pick us back up, remind us of our goals? Like, you really just need to set clear expectations of what that purpose is. So you can have business mastermind groups. You're the owner and you surround yourself by a office manager, a director, a marketer, a biller, a receptionist, a birth assistant, midwives on the team. Like, who do you want on your master team? It's similar to a staff meeting, but there's very purposeful things that it's typically higher level organization, administration team support. You can have just a mastermind group for other women. You can have it for business owners, for moms that just need a support system for all the things they're working on. Maybe you have midwives that work in the hospital setting and they want to open businesses. They all have side hustles. Maybe they aren't women that have any background together, but they all have common goals that we want to challenge each other. We want to have a girls' night out, but not have all the strings attached of the friendly relationship because we're busy. We just, once a month, we're going to have a book club. We're going to have a retreat weekend we go to once or twice a year together. We're just going to really be women and pick each other up and help support each other through these life stages. So the sky is the limit that you can create. You can have it among business owner to business owner. You can have it among maybe midwives in your community. You do it and talk about your guys' finances, fee schedules, your marketing campaigns, who's your ideal client. So you guys can all support each other and do some cross referrals. And so maybe once or twice a year, you get together with all the midwife directors for the hospital systems in the community or the midwife business owners in the community for birth centers and home birth practices, and you guys support each other. You hold up to the goals. You learn about each other. This is the goals for our practice. This is the goals for our clinic program, and did we accomplish them? Where were our near misses? What were the strengths and the pitfalls of the last year and since we met last time? And you utilize it to whatever you want it to be. Masterminds that are for creative acquisitions are really, really fun because you want to brainstorm, you want to throw ideas. We have a challenge in front of us. Our community doesn't have enough midwives. Our US doesn't have enough midwives. The world doesn't have enough midwives. You get together these really cool people that have different aspects and perspectives and skills and experience, but you have a common goal and purpose together. You make it a positive, enlightening. There's no stupid questions. There's no stupid answers. You have a challenge to fulfill and fix, and everybody in this mastermind group has a common theme of also wanting to solve that problem with you. So tends to be really fun for how do we make midwives more accessible? There's 1,000 different barriers, but how do we tackle them? What makes the most sense? How can we tackle them all at once? How can we get some momentum to get our consumers and our communities to change the legislature, to change the insurance reimbursement, to get more midwives out there? Like, all these barriers, you're going to figure out creative ways to solve them and which ones make the most sense to tackle first. So digital marketing mastermind groups, this one is fun because you want to look at how can you improve in today's world and SEO and so many ways you can market online. You need pretty much a team of marketers nowadays. It doesn't do any good having just one marketer because it's unrealistic to ask them to understand social media, to have them understand website, to have them understand SEO and algorithms and funneling and engagement and community outreach, and the list goes on and on and on. So you really want to have people involved that know the community. You want to have a consumer on this mastermind group. You want to have people on your staff. You want to learn your ideal clients really well. Make a strong marketing campaign that is within your budget and meets the goals of what you want it to happen. You can have this as just a couple people. You could have it as 4 or 5 people, but you want to have a few key people and have regular meetings about your marketing and how it's going to support your practice and where you want to go. So there's some very core principles to mastermind groups. I've already hinted at a lot of them. You want high respectable people, high achievers, creative, professional people. They are committed to the cause. They're respectful of the time. They're never late. They always show up. They have a certain level of engagement and professionalism to them. That is one of the keys to make a mastermind group successful. Whether you're paying them because it's an accountant, it's a lawyer, it's a financial planner for your business mastermind, or whether it's friends and colleagues and mentors, and you all have a common theme of you're not getting paid, it's a nonprofit you're creating because you see the massive need in XYZ. And so you have to make sure you're highly committed to each other, to the goals of the mastermind group, and to that long-term longevity that's desperately needed for a mastermind group to be successful. So confidentiality, you got to be able to respect by HIPAA and conversations you have about patients, and that you're not going to hold it to them and have different perspectives of who they are and how you talk about them in the community. You have to have confidentiality when you're doing those midwife peer-to-peer groups. You have to be respectful on both directions. They're going to tell you about their near misses and their bad outcomes and their learning deficits because they want to grow from you. They want to learn from you. And it takes courage to be on these type of groups. So confidentiality is the utmost importance in some of these aspects. And you really, I mean, if you're going into being hired as an accountant, a consultant, you're going to respect the privacy of their mission, their business, whether it's a personal endeavor or you have signed a non-disclosure agreement. Confidentiality is the utmost important in a mastermind group. Being willing to give advice, to receive advice, to look at different perspectives. Because if you come into a mastermind group that I just want everybody to do what I say, I'm the boss, you listen to me, it's not really a mastermind group. That's a staff meeting, it's a chain of command thing. Mastermind groups have to have people of different perspectives and expertise, and you have to give everybody equal amount of time to throw their ideas and suggestions and not have one person giving all the ideas, but then they're not getting anything back from the group because it's not going to work long term. I've been on a few groups where I could do circles around everybody that was on there. I'm the one always giving advice. I'm the one that they're growing from. It was more of a mentoring session where I was the lead versus a mastermind group because they weren't at the level yet to challenge me, to give me constructive advice because we were just not in the same playing field. So you have to think of what's the purpose, what's the intention. And it's okay if you just want to get a bunch of people together, you want to mentor some students in your area, you want to help a bunch of people open a business that have never done it before and you've done it for a long time, you want to be a midwife and you want to help precept a bunch of midwives, that's okay. But a mastermind group tends to have people that are in very similar calibers of where they are in life, where they are in their business, where they are in their skill set. Maybe they're different skill sets and different perspectives, but you want to be able to challenge each other pretty equally. So there's 5 essential rules to building a mastermind group. You want to pick the members wisely, whether it's for your business and you're picking the right accountant or lawyer, it's fellow midwives in the community, it's getting people on your staff that you're going to have high level conversations of where the organization's going to go. You need to pick and choose these people with thought of what is this relationship going to look like for the next weeks, months, and years to come, because it's a long-term thing. You're not going to meet together one time and call it done. You guys have common goals and themes, and it's a lifelong journey. So you really have to think of who are people I can grow with, who are people I can trust for the years to come, and feel more comfortable and confident of telling them my strengths and weaknesses throughout this journey, and that it's going to be respected and it's going to be entrusted to not be passed on to everyone, kept in that comfortable, safe environment. You want to set ground rules right away, clear expectations. What is the purpose of the mastermind group? What is it like? I've stumbled making mastermind groups, and that's okay. I've picked people that were in two different age spaces, two different alignments of goals, and people that just we kind of were more getting together as girlfriends than really a mastermind group. So you just have to learn and have clear foundations of what is our purpose, how often are we going to meet, how long are we going to meet for, what's the agenda going to look like, what is everybody going to do, what are we going to bring to the table, why are we meeting together, are we going to hold each other accountable, is this a brainstorming session, is this a venting session, is this a place where we're going to learn from each other and do some skills and trainings together. You have to set the ground rules of what's the purpose of the mastermind group. Set a good agenda. Make sure that you're following the meeting, take good notes, have someone on the team that is writing down and keeping track, sending people on the team notes afterwards, and having good boundaries of when are we going to meet, how are we going to meet, are we going to meet on Zoom, are we going to meet in person, are we going to meet at a restaurant, are we going to rotate between each person's birth center or our clinic, are we going to meet in a staff conference room at the hospital? Like, where are you guys going to meet, and what is the purpose of these meetings, and how do we keep to that agenda and make sure that we're following up on what was done last time and making sure we're accountable for what was supposed to be accomplished before we got together again. It's so important to have a leader. You're going to, and maybe you rotate who the leader will be each time, and that's totally okay. You guys can make the definition of everybody's role, what is the purpose, where are our strengths and resources, why are we all here, what is our purpose of being part of the mastermind group, and what can we bring to it, and how can we make it successful. So you want to pick a group leader. Most of the time it stays the same person, but you can definitely rotate through who that's going to be. It tends to be the person that made the mastermind group because they're the one with the initial goal, vision, purpose, and they're going to tend to lead things if they get off alignment, if we're not meeting our purpose. They were the ones that wanted the mastermind group together. And so you have to really just make sure that someone is designated to that and have a clear expectation of what that role looks like. You want to share ideas, suggestions evenly. If it's lopsided, it just one person will feel ostracized and it'll become a ripple effect that they're not going to pass on their ideas. You're going to lose valuable personality and core different perspectives that's going to give you a better product, a better problem solving, a better understanding of what you want to accomplish by learning from everybody on the group. It's going to take time. It's a work in progress, but I encourage midwives to make mastermind groups within their business, within their personal life, within their families. Like, there's so many possibilities of how a mastermind group can help. So there's key characteristics of each member to consider. When you're picking someone, you want to know, can I relate to them on a personal level? Can I trust them? Can I be vulnerable around them? Do we have stuff in common? Is it somebody that I can open up to? How often are we going to get together? Are we going to have, they don't necessarily have to have common interest and hobbies and experiences, but you're going to have to be able to feel comfortable and connect with them. If you've got such extreme, you're a go-getter, you're a high achiever, and this person never shows up for work, is fired all the time, they have no interest in starting a business, and you're a high achieving business owner, they don't have an alignment in the goals and purpose of why they're at this mastermind group, they're probably not the best to be there. When I say you want to have similar experiences, that's a very vague word. You have to have similar experiences on the core purpose of this mastermind group. So for example, if you're putting a mastermind group together for your business, they all have to have similar experience in helping out a midwife practice, helping out a birth center, being able to help a small business owner. If they're a lawyer, you're not going to pick a lawyer that does estate planning. You're going to pick one that has experience in small business ownership. If you're going to pick a marketer, you're not going to pick a marketer that does sports and does a totally different industry than midwifery and birth. And so you want to look at people that have similar backgrounds, similar understandings, and core beliefs so that you can meet and be at higher success with the goals of the mastermind group. You don't want people that are exactly the same because you're not going to grow, you're not going to challenge each other. So when I say similar experiences, you just want enough of the people coming to the table, they're going to add value to whatever you're trying to solve. You don't want to be competitive. You want this to be about learning, supportive, positive, respectful environment. So if you have a bunch of people that don't like each other and they think, they're a terrible midwife and I never refer people to their practice and vice versa, it's going to be very difficult to have a successful midwifery mastermind group with someone you don't get along with and someone you pretty much consider your competition and would never interact with. You need to find like-minded people that maybe they have a different style and a different type of ideal client they serve, but you have the same core missions of what you want to change and what you want to make happen in the community. And those barriers, you all have the same challenges of how you serve your families. Can we solve these problems together? So here are 9 tips to make a mastermind team successful. You want to define the group. You want to put clear expectations. You want to talk about why we're getting together. What is the goal? What is the mission? Are we going to meet together weekly, monthly? Whose responsibility is to be the lead? Are we going to rotate it? Who's going to keep the agenda and keep notes from our meetings? How are we going to keep each other accountable? How are we going to communicate with each other? Where are we going to meet? What does the boundaries look like? What is the purpose of this group and everyone's role in it? You want to choose the members of the group very carefully. You want to make sure you're picking people that will challenge you. The joke is always you want to be the weakest person on a mastermind group. When you make friends and when you challenge people, you want to grow the most from the mastermind group. I don't know if you've ever heard, but you tend to be the average income of whoever you surround yourself by. And that's the same with mastermind groups. You're going to be probably the average of the success and the goal setting and the ambition of the people in the mastermind group. So think about these people, think about where they're at, think about where they're going, think about, are you guys a good fit for whatever the purpose of this group is? You want to think about their easygoing, their decision making, they're positive, they're optimistic, they're challenging, they're respectful, they're patient, they're very intuitive. These are key traits of people you want in your mastermind group. You want to give and take. You don't want someone that talks all the time. You don't want someone that's not going to speak up if they're an extreme extrovert and an extreme introvert. You want to talk about who can participate, how you're going to participate, and can they commit to a weekly meeting? Can they commit to a monthly meeting? Are we just going to do a book club? Are we going to make a big organization to change the world of midwifery? Like, what is the purpose of this? Think of it as a manageable size. Depending on your drive and how big the project is, you may need 20, 25 people in the group. You may need 5 people in the group. You need to look at purposefully because you don't want it to get overwhelmed, and the whole point is to grow together. If it's too big or it's too small, you want to make sure it's successful for its purpose. You want to prepare ahead of time. You want to have purpose. You want to have good accountability. You want to have a good progression of where the group is going in your different things. So if this mastermind group is to grow skills, to look at near misses, to have business efficiency, it's professional development because we all want to eventually be directors at our different practices in the hospital settings. And we just started as new graduates. How do we get there? What trainings do we need? What committees can we be on? What projects can we work on to get us those leadership skills and quality to get to where we all want? You want to look at different articles, you want to look at different ways to support the team, do some research on websites to get perspective on each other's businesses, their followers, their ideal clients. Maybe you guys are reading a different book that can help each other out. You want to just pass on great resources you've all learned about since you've met last time. So you want to put great structure and responsibility. There's no right or wrong way to hold a meeting. There's no right or wrong way to someone always running things and how it's run. And having a consistent flow and clear understandings with everybody on what will be accomplished is really, really important. So you want to encourage everybody to just be professional, listen to each other, and be honest. If someone doesn't like your idea, you have to have a safe, supportive environment that they can say that to you without feeling retaliation, to feeling like it hurt your feelings. Like the whole point of this is so we make everybody grow and succeed together. Meeting regularly without getting distracted. If everybody spends the first 20 minutes talking about their kids and how rough their day was, you need it to be very specific and purposeful and get right down to the point. You're not there to be each other's friends. You are there to accomplish a common goal you guys all put together. So you really have to realign, and maybe someone on the team is that person that says, okay, I'm redirecting us. We're not keeping to the agenda. Like you're always showing up 10 minutes late. We can't have you on our mastermind because we can't be as productive as a team. You start out really not actually talking, accomplishing anything. You come and you say you're going to do these goals, but then when we meet again, they don't happen. So we really need to make sure we're free from distraction. We're meeting regularly, whether it's online, we have a quiet, safe place, we have a birth center to go to, we have a coffee shop, we have a conference room. Like, where is a safe environment that's free from distraction? So, like, I have a couple mastermind groups. We do them at 8 at night, and it's very difficult because the kids and putting them down and trying to find a quiet place, and it's the end of the day, you're tired. Like, think about it. When are you the most productive in the day? Your mastermind groups might make sense to me at 8, 9 in the morning versus 8 at night, because you're not going to be nearly as productive. You're not going to retain things. You're not going to come as much creativity because you're tired and exhausted. You really want to make sure you're picking a good, safe place to meet. If you're doing a virtual meeting, it's okay. But I do love, especially for trainings and for large scale projects, when you get to meet together, you get more personable, you get more emotions, you get more interactiveness that you just can't do online. So it just depends on what is the intention of this. But if you all live really far away from each other, it just may not be realistic to have in-person meetings. Especially with COVID, I think we're getting a lot more familiar of utilizing online support and resources and meetings together. So having key facilitator skills, someone that can write, someone that can lead, someone that can really help to take charge and remind everybody, hold accountability. If we set this rules and agenda, this person is going to enforce it and remind everybody what our expectations are. We want to have real strong skills for the leader. It could be the person that created it, or they may be a weaker person in the group and they found and recruited someone for their mastermind group that they want to be the facilitator. So you really just have to think about this carefully, and maybe it's going to be a rotational thing. Every 3 months, you're going to be the leader, then I'm going to be the leader. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. So you want to prepare ahead of time. You want to make sure everybody's participating. You want to make and hold everybody accountable. You want to have a clear expectations so that you're not all fumbling and saying, sorry, it's been busy. I didn't get this accomplished. Like, I didn't check that email. Sorry, I didn't look at that resource we were all supposed to look at. I didn't read the book that we all talked about reading last time. Like, you need to be prepared so that you can be the most productive and accountable to, and respectful to the members of your team. Make changes as needed. If all of a sudden the holidays are too busy, you need to rotate and adapt your mission, you need to restructure. It's okay to change things and change the agenda, change the purpose as time goes on, but everybody just has to be on the same page, and you have to be accountable for those changes as a group. So just as an overall summary, having a mastermind group is a very, very powerful tool for anybody within your family, your personal life, your business, your career, your job as a midwife. Like, mastermind groups can be any shape or form. They allow you to leverage business owners, to leverage colleagues and mentors around you, and you're going to bring value to the table, and they're going to bring value to the table. You're going to create better products and systems and ideas to solve problems far better than trying to do it on your own. So we really have to be careful that The whole point of a mastermind group is to create a win-win situation. We have accountability, we're following our agenda, everybody's doing what they were told they were going to do based on what they were going to bring to the table, and it has a long-term success, and you're going to make momentum changes in your community, in your business, in your healthcare organization, in your family life because you made a mastermind group. So it's really important that we support each other, we encourage ideas, we grow, and we build a friendship among each other.